Z. Enterprise Zimbabwe, business and everything you want to know on ZiFM Stereo.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Supa Mandiwanzira, and this is Enterprise Zimbabwe. We talk about small business, and we're encouraging people to get into business, and of course, giving advice on what you can do about business. Joining me, as usual, is Nyazungu. He is our resident specialist on small business, the chartered vendor. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Welcome, Supa. Thank you for joining us.
But we want to talk about small business right now in this environment. Somebody was thinking of starting a business or started a business. They projected their costs. They didn't factor the fact that fuel prices could go up from $1.30 to $1.70.
That's interesting.
How do we deal with this if you're a small business person? How do you deal with something that is unforeseen, like what has happened, the war in Russia? Triggering the fuel price increase that we are now seeing.
Yeah, I've learned that being a Zimbabwean and operating in Zimbabwe, and at one time as a vendor, I was selling whilst the inflation was at 231 million %. So I think in Zimbabwe, you must always create reserves, work, and making sure that you're always exceeding your budgets, making sure that you've got reserves somewhere, you've got money, liquidity, and you're also, if you're increasing your sales, definitely you end up increasing your profits, and end of the day you also increase your liquidity. So it's very important for you to have reserves, especially if you're operating from Zimbabwe. It's of paramount importance because there are a lot of uncertainties, not only the Russian-Ukraine war, but there might be an SI which is going to be introduced by the government, maybe trying to curb inflation, which can also affect you as a business. Many businesses have gone out of the business because of some of the policies which are introduced by the government.
But how important is it for small businesses to respond and react immediately to developments like we have seen with regards to the price fuel increases? Because in most cases, small businesses are very slow to react because they don't change their prices immediately. So if somebody is running a small grocery shop at Murambinda, ask kuzviziva kuti mapuraizi efuel akwira, and varongotengesa zvinhu zvavo mushop neprice yakaorder nayo last week. And so by the time they go next week, the price of going there, the cost of transport has gone up, the cost of buying the goods to replace what they've sold, so they're actually making a loss. How do you assist businesses to respond to developments that are happening like this?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that's why they're tuning at ZiFM, because if they're tuning at ZiFM, we're going to advise them what to do. Small businesses, they've got an advantage that there's no lot of bureaucracy in terms of changing the prices. So if maybe the owner just decides to say we're increasing the price because fuel yakwira, they're going just to do it in a second. But with big organizations, there's a lot of bureaucracy. You need maybe to be authorized by the management or by the board. So if they're listening, they really need to be stay informed. They should always tune into these kind of programs whereby they will get the news that the fuel is going up. And because some of the people, they might think that the government has actually just increased the fuel, but it's the war in Russia, which is not going to end anytime soon. It's another COVID-19. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. Yeah, considering that the amount of a war is a war. You can usually, as a businessman, I'll anticipate that maybe fuel is going to also increase, maybe to $2 something, who knows, or even to $3. So you should always get the worst case in each and every event.
Okay, Jeremy Nyazungu, our chartered vendor, giving us advice on how small businesses can react or respond to developments that are taking place and obviously causing havoc in terms of their business planning. Things like the price of fuel going up without you having budgeted for it. You're listening to Enterprise Zimbabwe. My name is Supa Mandiwanzira. We're live on ZiFM Stereo, my station, your station. Jerry Nyazungu is my guest tonight. Jerry, we've been talking about the difficulties that small businesses face that are, unpredictable. But let's talk more about strategy. What would you advise entrepreneurs in Zimbabwe right now, besides the price of fuel? How to deal with some of the challenges that they are facing in the country? You're a small business and you want to, take advantage of the environment, but also the environment is stifling. How do you advise businesses to respond?
Yes, sure. If you are living in difficult times, there are also plenty of opportunities. What I would just want to advise people is if your competitor maybe they are starting at 8, if you're a small business, you should actually start at 7:30. If your competitors don't work during weekends, as a small business, you should also work during weekends and holidays. Take advantage of each and every second in making sure that you are increasing productivity. And I also want to tell our entrepreneurs that they must focus more on the sales and marketing strategy. It's no time to cut your marketing budget. It's actually the time your business should be omnipresent. It should be everywhere, because money follows attention end of the day. If you are obscurity, people are never going to know about you. You can have a nice product, you can have wonderful services, but if people don't know about that service, you get out of business. Then they also never cut their sales expenses. Our sales people must be given airtime. Our sales people must be given phones to use in the organizations. They must be given cars to get to where the customers are. And we should also quit the tendency of relying on customer visiting our shops or customer visiting our organizations. Rather, we should go out, because money is out there. Money is not in our offices. Money is not in our organization, but money is in the market.
I like the idea that you say, if your competition is starting business at 8 a.m., you should start at 7. How does that help?
It helps you because already if they're starting at 8, at 7, you're already in the market. Maybe you've started calling your clients. Because what I've noted is if you call a client maybe after 8, they'll be already busy with meetings, maybe internally or externally. But if you call them maybe from 7 to 8, whilst they're traveling at work, you might tend to actually reach them and talk to them about business when they're not at busy.
Very interesting concept, because I've found many shops when work finishes at 5 p.m., they're also closing their doors, but the people who actually should be buying in those shops are actually still at work.
Exactly.
So how do they end up buying into your shop? You're also closing.
Which are already closing.
They are finishing.
Exactly.
But do people realize how important this is? Because, we're talking about, on the news, they were talking about His Excellency the President in Dubai, meeting Zimbabweans with the diaspora there. In Dubai, you can go for shopping until 1 a.m.
Exactly. That's what, I think that's the culture we should bring in Zimbabwe. Even in China, shops, they close late, banks, they close late. But here in Zimbabwe, banks, they actually close at 3 p.m. and whilst the businesses are still open. So where will I bank after maybe after I've closed my shop? So I think we must adopt that culture. Yes, our economy is a bit bad, but I believe if we work more hard as Zimbabweans collectively, we can make it as Zimbabweans. But if we have that tendency of 8 to 5, it will never work in this economy.
Okay, so how do these strategies help people maybe during at the height of COVID-19? Because you say this is what you should do in difficult times. Mm-hmm. We have a very practical example of a difficult period for business, which is the COVID-19 pandemic. At the height of it, how did these ideas help your clients?
It helped me and my clients because we were working even during the weekends. When COVID started, I think that was March 2020, we even adopted a strategy whereby we're working for long hours. Even if we're working from home, we adopted a strategy where we're working during weekends, we're working during holidays, and it was paying dividends. And we also increased in terms of our visibility, be it on social media, be it on marketing the traditional way. We started pushing. Most of our budget was going towards marketing and sales, and it paid dividends because I think we grew up almost threefold from 2020 compared to now.
Wonderful. You spoke about working from home. Some of your staff was working from home. Do Zimbabweans understand the culture of working from home, or the opportunity to work from home is considered the 2 and a half day?
Yeah, that's true. Even I think most people can relate to it. During COVID-19, sometimes someone could join Zoom, you just see the name, but when you start calling their name, they'll come even after 2 minutes because they'll be doing other things. So working from home, I think it doesn't work, especially in our kind of environment.
But how can we make it work for small business? Because that's maybe a way of reducing cost, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we make working from home work for small businesses?
I think it's all about understanding our vision, understanding where you want to go as a business, and maybe having your people buying in and also putting controls. Because if you, these days we've got a lot of technology, we can even monitor, putting your timesheets, checking people how they are performing once they're working from home. But to be honest, I noticed it is very difficult to work from home.
Okay, maybe we must start building a culture around that. Maybe you could start some training around that. Jerimonia Zungu, thank you very much for joining us on Enterprise Zimbabwe. We're back again Monday next week sometime.
Yes. Welcome, Supa. Thank you for listening.
With all advice to the small business, but the advice is not necessarily just for small business, for any business.
For any business.
But of course, we want to promote small business because that's the engine of growth. They employ more people than any other business.
That's true.
And money must go to small business, not to big business.
That's true.
Thank you for joining us. This is ZiFM Stereo, my station, your station. My name is Supa. Mandiwanzira. It's been a great pleasure being here. We're back again next week. It was 8, 7:50 to 7:30 on ZiFM.